exchange that President Trump, Susan, had with the publisher of the New York Times, A.G. Sulzberger. Sulzberger directly confronted the president about his attacks on the news media being the enemy of the American people, fake news. Listen to this.
One of the things that's been really striking to me is, as I've talked to my colleagues around the globe, working in different countries, particularly working in countries where a free press is already a tenuous thing, they say that they are increasingly of the belief that your rhetoric is creating a climate in which dictators and tyrants are able to employ your words and in suppressing a free press. I'd urge you to reconsider these attacks.
I understand that.
But if you choose not to, I want you to be aware of some of the consequences that I'm starting to see out there.
Would you say more so now than over the last 5 years?
Yes.
Right now? I mean,
yes.
More so now than even a year ago?
Yes.
Susan, what do you think? Are you surprised by the way the president reacted to that?
Yeah, it is absolutely absurd for the president to suggest, excuse me, that he is not aware that his rhetoric imperils a free press around the world. He has been warned about this over and over and over again. We had a national conversation after 5 journalists were slaughtered in their newsroom, not 30 miles from here. Members of our own media organization at CNN had bombs mailed. The idea that the president, who I'll give him credit for his acting skills, does appear to be genuine, it sounds genuinely surprised. The notion that he doesn't understand that his words have consequences, it's just ridiculous. He's aware, and to continue to speak this way is grossly
I want Nia to weigh in first. There's international leaders who have now accepted the phrase fake news. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, we are living in a fake news era. The Philippines President Rodrigo Duterte, a fake news outlet. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, this is what we call fake news. And you know who says fake news all the time?
Yeah, I mean, it's Donald Trump. It's part of his brand. It's part of something that he says when he doesn't agree with a story, when it puts him, in a bad light. It's something he repeats over and over again. You even heard, similar phrasing from Russians. Like, if they don't like some of the reporting that's coming out about the Russia investigation, it's something that they use too. And clearly, it's something that has traveled, and you heard the president there being confronted with it.
Ron, go ahead.
I'll say what makes this especially disingenuous is that identifying enemies and positioning himself as the one force that stands between his supporters and all of these different kinds of forces that are arrayed against him is the essence of his political messaging and his political strategy. I mean, whether it is undocumented immigrants or the press or the deep state, the core of what Trump sells to his coalition is the idea that he alone will stand against all of the forces that he portrays as being arrayed against them. So for him to kind of turn around and say, well, I'm surprised that the press is seen as an enemy based on my language, that is the core of the language. That is the core of the message that he is offering, that he alone is standing against all of these various enemies.